G-L-O-C-O
Glo-Co Radio!
Hello children, this is Glo-Co Radio. I'm your host Rhett. Get ready for the fantastic world of imagination as we bring you back to some of the core childhood memories.
And I'm your host Janice. As a girl who hasn't thought about becoming Cinderella and having your Prince Charming to come save you from a difficult situation, what about the perfect weddings portrayed in the children's literature?
Oh, and how I wish I were the hero who slays fire-breathing dragons, defends my city by fighting the wicked witch, and ends up going home with the beautiful girl.
Okay, let's bring this back on topic. In this episode, we'll introduce various children's literature in different countries, so we can see why this genre has gained popularity in recent decades and has been made an official subject in academia.
That's right. Finally, we will also cover some cultural perspectives in the discussion, and in doing so, we'll explore with the audience the role that children's literature plays in educating the youngest generation and preparing them for their respective roles in the future.
Enjoy!
Wow, what a beautiful song! This reminds me of the incredibly amazing story, Aladdin. I remember I watched this romantic tale on Disney Channel when I was a kid, and hoped that my Aladdin would invite me to take an adventurous ride on his magic carpet one day.
I'm sorry to tell you a piece of bad news, Elaine. Actually, the original Aladdin doesn't have a flying carpet.
What? Really?
Haha, you seem to be quite interested in this story, don't you? In fact, Aladdin is originally from 1001 Nights, which is often known in English as Arabian Nights, written by a Frenchman, Antoine Galland.
So, does the story end with a common sentence, since then they live happily ever after, like Disney's version?
You may say so. Actually, before the happy ending, the magician tries to steal the magic lamp back, but is finally killed by Aladdin and his wife. And, yeah, as what you've predicted, they live happily ever after.
Then what about the flying carpet? I'd like to take it as a mode of transportation sometime in the future.
You watch way too many cartoons, Elaine. Unless we can make airplanes flat like a sheet, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, it's a felony to rob someone of their childhood fantasies, you know.
Well, I think you'll find your prince and live together happily ever after. Just minus the flying carpet.
I know.
Let it go, let it go.
Hey Heath, I'm really tired of this song already. Can you sing another song, please?
What? I've been practicing this song for a long time already. Let it go.
Please! Are you indulging too much in these fairy tales? Come on, how many Williams and Kates are there in this world?
I just want to pretend for a while, just a while.
Well, speaking of being a prince, are you familiar with the famous story, A Little Prince?
Yeah, of course. The Little Prince was first published in 1943 by a French writer, and it is one of the best-selling books ever published, with nearly 2 million copies sold annually, and over 140 million copies have been sold worldwide. And the story is about the narrator, an airplane pilot who crashes into the Sahara desert. As he was worrying about what to do, he met the Little Prince, and the story goes on with the journey between the narrator and the Little Prince.
Schools were named after the story by using the title Le Petit Prince or something like that, like the elementary schools in the northern France and Canada.
No wonder why The Little Prince is still an influential book after 72 years.
That's true, but what should we remember about the story?
The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They are found with the hearts.
Wow, that's a beautiful quote, Heath. I think we should all think about what are the most beautiful things in our hearts.
Yeah, and we cannot just let it go, let it go.
of lessons to attend. I think you should really practice more. Okay, bye-bye.
Ciao. Let it go. Let it go.
Hey, Phyllis, do I look beautiful today?
Yes, of course, you look pretty, Wendy.
Huh? Really? I just asked you yesterday, but you said no.
I didn't mean it. And if you have more confidence about your own appearance, you will look more beautiful. Trust me.
Alright. So you mean I'm beautiful because I'm confident. Oh, a story that I heard from my kindergarten teacher just came to my mind. It is about a duck that looked quite different from his siblings, and they called him ugly. But at the end, he became a beautiful, elegant swan.
Funny you, what you just told me is the classic 19th century fairy tale The Ugly Duckling by a Danish author, Hans Christian Andersen. Let me fill you in with the details. The ugly duckling wished he was beautiful so that his friends would not tease him. And by spring, he has become a beautiful white swan and found his home with the other swans. They all treat him like family.
Wow, what a sweet story. No more mocking for ugly duckling.
Yes, and that's why this story is educational for children. Don't judge a book by its cover will be the right proverb to conclude this story. We cannot judge by surface only.
I know. What really matters is the internal beauty. Now let's Google the details of the story to relieve the childhood fun.
Three lectures in a row, Bobo. I'm starving.
Me too. Let's grab something to eat, Janice.
Don't worry, I brought lunch.
Wow, it looks really delicious.
We can share.
Are these pears?
Yeah, do you want one? I have two.
I love pears.
You can have the big one then.
Thanks. You are just like the little brother in the Chinese story, 洪永元里.
Is that the story about the little brother taking the smallest pear out of the whole basket of pears, allowing his elder brothers to take the bigger ones?
Yes. It is a story teaching children the importance of respect for age and hierarchy, illustrating the Chinese culture of hierarchy.
What is it about?
For example, for Chinese society, their concern with titles can show their respect for hierarchy. We come up with many titles for relatives, stressing the importance of distinguishing different positions within a family hierarchy. It is crucial for kids to address their relatives by the correct titles in order to show respect.
Oh yes, I know Western people do not put as much emphasis on titles. For example, uncles and aunties.
Hey Janice, what do you think is so interesting about children's literature that we have to dedicate an entire episode discussing its importance from cultural perspective?
Well, different children's literature from different countries conveys different meanings and values. That way we can know more about the different cultures. Like how the Chinese values family hierarchy. Red, do you like Western or Chinese children's literature better?
That's an interesting question. I guess I would have to say Western children's literature, but that's only because I wasn't exposed to a whole lot of Chinese children's stories for childhood bedtime stories. Rather, my dad, believe it or not, told me stories from Arabian Nights, and I can still remember the thing he told me, and that is, why is it called 1001 Nights? It is because this king there sleeps with one woman per night, and then he would kill her. But this woman makes it through 1001 nights because she tells really good stories. Stories so good that the king wants to know more. So I guess she was one of the world's first successful, strong businesswomen.
My parents didn't really tell me any bedtime stories, though.
Oh, you poor thing. How did you get through the wonderful childhood of yours?
Well, we did watch Disney films together, so it's okay. I used to hate children's literature.
Or as you called it back then, literature.
Yeah, right. I meant children's literature with princesses because of the gender stereotypes. I used to identify more with the male characters. I'm a girl, it's just that I hate the fancy dresses and the tiaras. I don't understand why every princess needs a Prince Charming. Marriage equals happily ever after. It's so unrealistic. That's why I like Mulan and Elsa. I like how female characters take proactive roles instead of being vulnerable, sitting there waiting for rescue.
That's the attitude. Way to go, Janice.
Hey, Heath, you look depressed today. What happened to you?
Hi. My girlfriend asked me for a pair of glasses after watching the movie Cinderella.
Oh my god, I want to have a pair too. And Cinderella's gown is so stunning. Her gown looks gorgeous with different shades of blue. Can I have the set, Heath?
Hey, Wendy, don't be that idealistic. But to be honest, even as a guy, I do appreciate this new Cinderella movie that is directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, why, Heath?
It adds a gloss of modern special effects and a couple of new wrinkles to the familiar story of the poor, the abused servant girl, and her magical nights at the ball. Especially the significant prologue featuring Ella as a child with her loving parents. Before her mother dies, she makes Ella vow to live her life according to a simple code.
Have courage and be kind.
Exactly. I bet you must love the fairy godmother, who I think is quite heartfelt, romantic, and funny, particularly when she arrives to spruce up Ella's wardrobe for the ball.
Yeah, you're right, Heath. I believe in everything, like what Cinderella's mother declares. So maybe now the fairy godmother is just near me.
Stop dreaming. But Wendy, Cinderella is into a guy who she barely knows. Can you do that?
For me, definitely not okay. But Prince Kid is quite charming.
Yeah, I agree. But seriously, I think the new movie adopts more of a liberate female approach, as in Cinderella no longer waits for rescue, but she takes a proactive role too.
Yeah, as the society changes, females taking the passive role which was the norm is no longer desirable.
I'm satisfied with the new Cinderella movie. It has been hugely successful with many audiences. What a great movie.
Yeah, it makes me feel so refreshed.
Dan, would you watch the movie again?
Wow, I've watched already, but I could watch it again.
Next week, we are going to look at the most mysterious topic ever. If you want to know more about supernatural beings like vampires, zombies, or even ghosts, stick with our Glo-Co Radio.